Hello, my name is Mike Coleman. I'm a product manager from the Windows XP team at Microsoft, and I'm here today to introduce Windows XP Home Edition. Windows XP is the next release from Microsoft that's built on the proven Windows engine, and this is the architecture that's been powering our business PC line for a number of years. It offers a rock-solid foundation of security, privacy, high performance, and we couple that now with Windows XP to increase the ease of use. For the home user, we're going to deliver great experiences around digital photos, video, music, and sharing of resources and devices. And what I want to do today is just give you a quick look at some of the cool new features in Windows XP and how they're going to change the way you use your PC at home. So, what I want to point out first here is the new welcome screen. This welcome screen is designed to make it easy for you to share your PC amongst multiple people in the house. And one of the first features I want to show you is something called fast user switching. And what fast user switching does is allow you to have multiple people running their applications all at the same time. So if you look here, I have an account for my son Cade, one for my wife Corey, and one for myself. And each one of us is actually logged on and running applications. Windows XP allows all of these applications to run simultaneously in the background. So if we pop into Cade's account, you can see that he's actually playing The Sims. And while he was offline, or while he was away from the PC and he had switched out of his account, his little guy there continues to eat dinner, go to work, and do whatever it is his sim is going to do for the rest of the day. So we'll go ahead and switch back out. You'll notice how easy that is. A simple keystroke pops me right back to the welcome screen, and we can check out what Mom's doing. We click on Corey's account. That comes up, and you can see that in her account, Corey's been reading some email, she's composing a letter, and she's playing some solitaire. Each one of us has our unique user environment, and each environment's adapted to what we have been set up to our PCs to do. So if I was to walk up here, I don't have to decide whether or not I save Corey's letter to her mom. I don't have to decide whether or not to shut her email down, whether she's done writing that email. I can just switch her out. Again, all of her stuff remains just as she left it in the background, and I can then move into my account. We have the option of password protecting the accounts if you like. So I'll put my password in, and we'll move right into the system. So here's Windows XP. Let me show you a couple other features in the user interface that make Windows XP super easy to use. The first goal of this user interface that I want to talk about is simplifying the user interface and reducing clutter. So if you look here, you'll notice that the desktop is very clean. There are no icons on it, only the recycle bin. We've taken a lot of those icons off to reduce clutter and then allow you, the user, to decide how you want to populate that desktop. Down here in the notification area is an area where a lot of icons install themselves, and it can get quite cluttered and take up a lot of your taskbar. So what we've done is actually set it so that Windows XP will hide those icons away when you're not using them. If you need the icon, it'll pop up. When it's not being used, it will hide away. Again, reducing clutter, simplifying your computing experience. Let me move over to the new Start menu. And over here, let me point out a couple of things. This is actually a list of the most frequently used applications. These are the programs that I use the most. And Windows XP monitors the way I use my PC and populates that list accordingly. Up here, I always have quick and easy access to my email and my internet program, whatever that may be, if it's AOL or Netscape or, in my case, Internet Explorer. Those icons are always available to me. Also, notice up here that the picture and the name carry over from the welcome screen. And this creates a very personalized user environment. On the right here, we have access to system areas that might be important to me, my documents, my pictures, my music, my computer, those sort of things. So if I need to quickly access some information, it's right at my fingertips. So applications application menus that adapt the way that I work, and then quick and easy access to all of the information and applications that I might need. Let me go ahead and move into the My Documents folder and show you a few features there. Now, I do a lot of work on my PC, and I have a lot of documents like a lot of folks do. One of the things that can be kind of cumbersome is how do I find the information that I need? Windows XP has this new feature called Show in Groups. So I can arrange the icons and show them in groups, and this allows me to get different views into my information. So here's a nice alphabetical list, and another way I can look at this is by application type. So if I say by type, then I get a nice list of all my Acrobat files, all my bitmaps, all my spreadsheets. Another thing I want to highlight here is compressed folders. So a lot of times you're working on the web and you download a zip file that may contain a patch for your operating system or a new device driver, or maybe it's a game that you downloaded off of your favorite website. Well, with Microsoft's new compressed folder support built right into Windows XP, I can actually extract those zip files right here in the operating system. Alternately, if I needed to send a bunch of documents to a friend, a bunch of spreadsheets, for instance, I could actually take those and send them to a compressed folder and compress them up into a single file and then attach them to the email quite easily. We talked about reducing clutter. Let me show you how we do that here in Windows XP when I open a bunch of these documents. As I hit enter, look at the taskbar and notice how that the buttons get smaller. In previous versions of Windows, those buttons would get so small that you actually couldn't read them. You would get 1 or 2 letters of each button, and you would never really know what that button represented. It was very difficult for customers to work with many documents that were open at the same time. With Windows XP, if I click the button, you can see that I have quick and easy access to the subject of each of those documents I've opened. I can click one, bring it to the front. If I'm in a hurry, I can shut it down real easily. Now, one last feature I'll tell you about that's integrated into the shell is actually the ability to burn CDs. So if I had some pictures or some data, I could select those. So here's some bitmap images. I could right-click, and if I had a CDR or a CDRW in my computer, I could say send to CDR. Now we would queue, or send to writable CD is actually what it says, and we would queue those files up, and then when I was ready to burn the CD, I would just double-click on the CD-ROM drive, say create CD, and I'm burning CDs right there from within Windows, and I didn't have to load another application to do it. So those are some of the cool features in the user interface that are designed to make Windows easier to use, simplifying and streamlining the user interface, exposing common applications, and making everyday tasks super easy to do by integrating things like burning CDs and creating and extracting zip files. So let's go ahead now and look at what we're doing to make digital photography a totally seamless experience. One of the key things about Windows XP is we wanted to move from what was possible in previous versions of Windows and make it effortless. So Windows Millennium Edition did a great job with digital photography, and it was a great starting ground. But I wouldn't say it was totally effortless. What I'll show you in Windows XP is an effortless experience. So I'm going to start up by go ahead and plugging in my digital camera and turning it on. And what you're going to see is a notification from the operating system that it's detected my digital camera and it's looked at it, and it's going to give me a list of choices of what I can do. It says, hey, that device has pictures on it, so I can do a number of different things. I can acquire the pictures, I can view a slideshow, I can print the pictures, or I could open the camera up like an Explorer window and manipulate them directly that way. I'm actually going to go ahead and acquire the pictures. And this is going to bring up the new enhanced Windows Image Scanner and Camera Wizard. So let's move through this. Now I'm going to go ahead and I can pick as many of these images as I want. I really only want to get the first couple. So we'll click and unselect those. I could actually rotate in here, so I can take this image and move it from horizontal to vertical. I could look at the file size and properties. I'll click Next. I can name them. I can choose where I'm going to store them. My pictures / blueprints, and that's based off the file name. My pictures based off the date and file name, or based off the date. Or I could store them in the shared pictures folder, which is a folder where all the images could be shared with everyone who uses the PC. I'm actually going to put them in the My Pictures folder. Right here, from this wizard, I could copy these pictures right up to the internet. So straight from the camera to my website if I wanted. They'll go right up to MSN Communities, post them up there, and you can share them with friends and family instantly. And then when I'm done, I could choose to have Windows XP actually delete the pictures off my camera to free up that storage space. Click Next. You see the pictures being copied right from the camera into the My Pictures folder. We'll move through that. We'll copy both these pictures. And then when we're done, you'll see another important feature of Windows XP, and that is something I call never dead ending the user. And that is, when you perform a task, what's the next logical thing you might want to do? Previous versions of Windows, if I clicked Finish, I'd be back at the desktop, and I'd be asking myself, now where did I store those pictures? Where am I going to find them? Well, with Windows XP, if I click Finish, not only does it bring up the My Pictures folder, but it also highlights the 2 images I just acquired. So I'm ready to go and work right with those images. I'm going to go ahead actually now, though, and show you a couple other features of the My Pictures folder, which I think are pretty cool. The first is this thing called thumbnail views. what we've done here is we actually take with Windows XP and we elevate 4 thumbnails from the images that are stored in that folder. So when you look at the folder, you have a quick graphical representation of what that folder contains. Let me double click on this folder, and I can show you what we call the film strip view. As we move through here, you can see we can bring each of these images into the preview window. Let me just bring this up. I can resize them. I can zoom in. I can zoom out. I could rotate all of these things right here in the shell, making it super easy to work with my digital photos. Let me move back up to those 2 photos that I was working on earlier, Blueprint 1 and Blueprint 2. One of the first things I might want to do when I've brought pictures off of my camera is sort of take a quick look and see how they turned out. Windows XP gives me a slideshow view. So with a single click, I can create a slideshow and the images will advance automatically, or I can move up here and do it manually, and then I can stop. The images look pretty good. This one here I thought was pretty cool. I want to actually email it to a friend of mine. If you look down here at the information, it's actually a pretty large file. It's 1600 by 1200, which is actually about twice as large as most people's screen resolution on their PCs. So this image wouldn't fit on someone's screen. Additionally, it's a little over a half a megabyte in size. Some email providers won't send files that are too large. They'll actually reject that. And if it does get through, and if your friend or family member is on the other end of a modem, that file is going to take a long time to download. Well, with Windows XP, if I say, hey, I want to email this file, Windows XP is going to give me the option to optimize that for email. So I can click the Optimize button, and we'll fire up Outlook Express, fire up a new mail message, and we'll actually attach that file. And you'll see it went from 620K to 6K. That is 100 times reduction in size. And if you look at the image, it's a very nice representation, perfect for sending those snapshots over email to friends and family all over the, the country or across the globe, wherever they may be. So one of the last things I might want to do is actually maybe print these pictures out. I'm going to take some pictures here from this last vacation I went on, and I'm going to go ahead and say I want to print those photos. Now at Christmas time this year, my wife actually said to me, she said, hey Mike, can we use the printer downstairs to print out some photos on the photo paper and send them inside of our Christmas cards? So I took some pictures with a digital camera. I went into Word and I laid those pictures all out. I printed a couple of test prints and eventually got the pictures out on my photo paper, about 6 or 8 per sheet. And it worked really well. It took about an hour and a half though. It wasn't a huge task, but it's an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back. So what I'm going to do here is show you how Windows XP has made that super simple. If I click Print This Picture, click Next, you can see again I have that same selection mode where I can select the pictures I want to print. I can choose my printer. And now Windows XP has a number of layouts that it can automatically either crop or stretch the picture to fit and rotate it appropriately. So I can do 8x10s, 5x7s, 4x6s, and 3x5s. So I could easily lay out those images like I was doing at Christmas, print them out very quickly, very easily. What took me about an hour to an hour and a half would have taken me a matter of seconds. And instead of using a bunch of photo paper in my test process, I would have known automatically what that layout was going to look like. So Windows XP saving me time and money in the same fell swoop. So those are some of the things that I wanted to show to you. A couple of things I'll just highlight real quickly. You can order prints from the internet. So I could take these 3 pictures, click this button, and I'd be given a choice of photo providers where I could actually send those photos up over the internet to Kodak. Kodak would print them out and deliver them to my house. In the future, we're going to integrate this with our passport authentication service, so your images will be sent along with your billing information if you choose and your shipping information, and you won't have to type that all in again. Over here, we could actually publish those items to the web, and we could choose things like MSN Web Communities, Xdrive, or other network locations. There's a number of network providers that will be able to host these applications. And again, right from your My Pictures folder, right up to the internet, you can share these pictures with the whole world if you like. So that's the digital photography experience. And I just wanted to give you a quick tour of how it makes it super easy to acquire images, to store and manage them, and then to distribute them, be that over the email, over the web, on your screen, or printing them. So let's go ahead now and look at another experience that I'm extremely passionate about, and that's digital media and entertainment. We're going to start with the My Music folder. Now the My Music folder uses that same technology that I showed you in the My Pictures folder, and that being folder thumbnails. So you can see here that each one of these folders for each of the artists whose albums I have encoded using Windows Media Player for Windows XP has went out, and when I did that encode, it went out to the internet, acquired the album art, and brought it down for me. So if I drill down into the Black Crowes, my favorite band, you can see I have album cover art for each of the albums I've encoded. And not only that, but when I encode with Windows Media Player for Windows XP, I get to use the Windows Media Audio 8 standard, which is the highest quality at the lowest size. We can do CD quality in 64 kilobits with Windows Media Audio 8, whereas MP3 does the same in 128 kilobits. And what that equates to is CD quality audio in half the size of MP3. I can get twice as much music on my digital audio devices and on my hard drive. So let me come down in here, show you some other things that we've done. When I hover over one of these one of these songs, I get a lot of meta information that was brought in. I get the name of the album, I get the name of the file, I get the author, I get the title, I even get, in some cases I can get information on the encoding rate, all of that stuff. Also, we talked about some of the right-click functionality. From the shell, I can add to a playlist. I can also create my own audio CD. But if I select, and then again, select up a few of these, I've got the music tasks, like I had picture tasks, and I can actually play a selection. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. If I select Play Selection, that's going to bring up Windows Media Player for Windows XP. And Windows Media Player for XP is actually being designed exclusively for Windows XP and will not be available on other platforms. So this is an experience that's unique. So the music's playing. You can see the visualization here. We have a nice visualization going. Another thing I want to show you, though, is we can actually go out and look at the album art. So just like it was in the shell, we can actually have it here in the media player as well. Now you look at the media player here while our song plays, and you say, boy, that looks a lot like Media Player 7. And it does. But we have a lot of feedback from customers that said that Media Player 7 was maybe a little too big, and they'd like us to make a smaller media player. So what we actually can do here is with Media Player 8 is we can hide the menu bar, we can hide the taskbar, and then when I grab this corner, I can shrink this up into a very, very small compact player. And you'll notice, however, that the functionality is just a mouse click away. If I mouse up over here into the menu area, the menu bar comes back. I can click over here and the taskbar comes back. So you still have all of that functionality at the touch of a fingertip, touch of a mouse click, available to you. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this back up a little bit. Move it out here. And let's go ahead and stop the Black Crowes, as much as it pains me. I want to show you some other features we've built into the media player for Windows XP. Bring that out. And the first is, if we go into the media library here, you can see that I have a pretty extensive list of albums that I have on this particular computer. And as you add more and more music, it becomes more difficult sometimes to find just that song you're looking for. Like, I'm actually going to go out maybe here after work, and I might take a run, or I want to go ride my motorcycle, and I want to listen to some music. And let's say I'm in the mood for some country music. I'm kind of a rock guy, but every once in a while I like to get a little down home. So I actually can put country in here, and I can search by title, artist, album, genre, or file name. In this case, I'm looking for country music, so I'll search by genre. And I'll select search. It'll come out, search through my music library, and what I end up getting is a playlist down here of all that music. Now I can take that playlist, and from that playlist I can burn an audio CD using the copy to CD function, or I can copy it directly to a device. We're going to support a bunch of devices at launch for this, about a dozen or so, and you'll be able to copy right to those devices, take that music everywhere you want to go with you. So burn it to CD, put it in your portable device, and take it on the road with you. So, you know, that's just one type of digital media, the music experience. And of course, you know, Windows Media Player for Windows XP can encode your music. We talked about the great quality. We can manage your music for you. We have the great shell integration with the My Music folder. So we have a very complete music experience. And another experience I want to highlight for you is actually the digital video experience, the home movie experience. So I'm going to go ahead and close this down and minimize Media Player. I'm going to go into Movie Maker. Now, I'm a big motorcycle guy. I enjoy riding my motorcycle a lot. I had taken some video this last year of my vacation to Sturgis, and I actually Windows Movie Maker works great with digital video cameras. So I plugged that camera in, I was able to bring that video in, and I put together a little movie. And I just have one final little touch I want to add to that, and I just want to add the logo to the beginning of it. I've added a soundtrack that you can hear as I click the play button. Oh, I got to select all the files here. So we'll select the files. Let's go ahead and preview that. So you'll hear that I was able to add my own music to this. So here's the movie. Now with Windows Movie Maker, we can do a lot of cool things. You notice the fades, laying over the audio track, bringing in the titling. And after the movie's done and it looks the way I want it to look, I have a number of options for saving that out. I can save my movie out for a number of different playback formats, including distribution over the email, distribution over the web, local playback, and then finally, probably my favorite, playback on my PDA. So I can save this movie out, and then I can go into Windows Media Player, and with my Pocket PC attached to my computer, I can actually copy that video right to my Compaq iPad, my HP Jornada. And now when I go out and see people and they say, hey, how are your kids doing? Do you have any pictures? I can whip out my iPad, my Jornada, and show them my son playing baseball or my daughter playing her violin right there on the Pocket PC. It's an incredible way of sharing digital memories. And just like we had playlists for music, we actually have playback playlists for video. So if I select this, I can go in, and I actually do have another movie that I created in Movie Maker that I play on my PC, and here's my son playing t-ball. So this is like any other playlist. I can move from that clip over to the motorcycling clip we were just looking at, and everything in between. So the home movie experience in Windows XP is very complete, with the ability to integrate with digital video cameras and analog cameras and capture that video, bring it into Movie Maker, add titles, add fade effects, underlay a soundtrack, then distribute that video in formats that are appropriate for the web, they're appropriate for email, and they're even able to take that video and transfer it off onto your Pocket PC and take it with you on the road. Now, another type of video experience that a lot of people use, especially probably the most popular digital video experience, is that of the Digital Versatile Disc, or DVD. Windows XP is the first integrated media player, or Windows XP is the first operating system to ship with an integrated media player that plays video, music, and DVD. So if I come down here and I select from the drop-down list, as my DVD drive spins up, I can actually bring up my DVD here, and the DVD I actually have in the drive is Mystery Men, a Ben Stiller movie that I really enjoy, and I can play this on my machine. I've got the whole rich menuing structure, so I can go through here and look at the chapters. And one of the things you like to do sometimes is go out and find your favorite chapter. And so I'm gonna come in here, and our first victory is actually one of my favorites. And you see, I have to click through a number of steps to get to that. Well, with Windows Media Player for Windows XP, I'm actually able to download the chapter list off of the internet. And as I come over here, I can actually say, boy, where's that one I'm looking for? Our first victory. And I don't have to go through the menu structure. I can actually just double click on that, bring it right up, and quickly and easily get to the section I want. So, and I can bring this up, great full screen playback, great quality, quick, easy access. Like we do for music, we bring down all of the metadata, including the chapter listing information about the artist, who directed, all of that stuff. So we have a great DVD experience. So if you have a DVD codec to playback DVDs in your PC, hardware, software, you add Windows Media Player for Windows XP and a DVD drive, and you're ready to go. So that's the complete, that's just a quick example of some of the complete digital entertainment and music experiences you get with Windows XP, be it videos, be it DVDs, be it music. There's a whole bunch more we could show you, but that's about all we have time for on that piece. Now I'm going to leave you with one last feature that I wanted to highlight, and that's a feature that we call Remote Assistance. And what Remote Assistance is a technology in Windows XP that allows you to either give or receive remote help. So I've got a machine over here, and this machine is actually going to be my father. And my dad has a PC, and he lives a ways away, and he's always calling me and asking me questions about his PC. And a lot of times, I've had to try to walk him through something and step him through a process. And with the remote assistance feature, I can actually go ahead and he can send me remote assistance invitations over the internet, and then I can take control of his PC and help him out. So here, we click through, we say send an invitation. Now the invitations can be sent over email, or they can be sent over MSN Messenger. So if I'm on Messenger and my dad signs on and he sees me, he can send me a remote assistance invitation from that medium as well. Today we'll use email. He types in that, hey, help me. Give me a little message there. We integrate with the Windows address book, so when he clicks in Mike, it'll check the address book for that entry, fill in my email address. He can secure the session with a password. He can also set a timeout on the session. So this invitation, once it is sent, is only good for an hour. So if someone comes up to the PC an hour and 5 minutes later, they can't get into the session. So we'll click send the invitation. The invitation's been sent over the email. We'll go over to my PC. I'll fire up Outlook Express. Outlook will go out and check for new mail, and if I go into my inbox, I'll see that my dad has asked me for some help. I double click on that mail message, double click on the attachment. As soon as I do that, before I can actually attempt to instantiate the session, I have to type in the password. Now what will happen typically is my father will send me the invitation, and then he'll call me and say, hey, I sent you an invitation. When you get a chance, could you give me some help? And the password is ABC. That way, when I get to my machine, only I know the password. If someone else was to come up to the machine and try to kick this off, the password wouldn't be available to them. So I'll click yes. And then over on my father's machine, you're going to see a dialog that's going to pop up and ask him if it's okay if we start the session. This is another layer of security. I can't just jump onto my father's PC, even though he sent me the invitation. And even though I had the password, I still have to have his explicit permission. So we'll click yes. And what you'll see on my father's screen is a little remote control toolbar, and what you'll see on my screen is actually a version of his computer inside of a window. So that'll pop up, and there's my father's machine. Now, over here we've got some chat, so we can talk back and forth. We also have the ability, if both machines have a speaker and microphones, to do a voice chat. So we could actually be communicating over the network, talking to each other just like we were on the phone. So my dad actually wanted me to help him set his wallpaper. I'd taken a cool picture of some boats, and he's kind of a boat guy. So I'm actually going to send him that wallpaper over using the integrated file transfer utility. So we'll browse down into the My Pictures folder, and there's that picture of the boats. We're going to go ahead and send that file. Now, notice, on my dad's computer, he has to explicitly, again, give me permission to send that file, and he's going to choose a place to save it off. We'll save it in the My Documents folder, over in his My Pictures folder. Click Save, transfer that over, click OK, and that's great. Now, I could try to talk my dad through setting that desktop wallpaper, or I could just do it for him. So let me click the Take Control button. He says, do you want to let Mike take control of your computer? My father clicks yes, and now I have control, but only after he explicitly gives it to me. So now I click on here, I can right-click on the desktop, choose Properties, choose the desktop, browse for that picture I just sent him. There it is in the My Pictures folder. We'll open that up, we'll click OK, and my father has his new background. Just that easy. Now, if any time during the session my dad had been uncomfortable with what was going on, if I'd gone into money and I was writing myself a large check, for instance, he could actually click this Stop Control button. And that would actually put me back in a view-only mode like it was when we started. So right now, again, I'm back to having no control over the machine. If he was really unhappy, if I had written the check for too much, he could click the Disconnect button, and that would shut the session down entirely. So what you've just seen there is actually the ability for someone to get help from a person they trust. They can send a password-protected invitation that they can then use that to set up a session where they can help each other out and get the computer either fix a problem or help them get the most out of an application that they're using. So that's about all we have time for today. I just wanted to, again, reiterate, you know, Windows XP Home Edition is going to be the version that we shall sell exclusively for our home users. There will be a version called Windows XP Professional that's designed for those users who want to get the ultimate experience out of their PC, or those users working in business. But Windows XP Home Edition will be designed exclusively for our consumers, and I think I've shown you some of the great features that it's going to have to make your life a little bit simpler by making your PC easier to use, exposing great functionality for digital photography, digital music and entertainment, and then finally allowing you to get the help and support you need when you need it. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.